Well, hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Taco King Art. We're doing a nighttime drawing session today, mainly because, well, it's about the only time I have available to draw right now. However, I don't want you to get the idea that I did all this work in one night. It actually takes me quite a while to put together a comic page, so I usually break it up between a few days or a few weeks if I need to. Sometimes I only work on it for a few minutes, and other times I have a few hours. I am struggling with this one though, truth be told. This comic is not going as smoothly as I would like it to go. It's actually turning out to be quite challenging, and all this is due to me not knowing what I'm doing. Or maybe I'm just expecting too much of myself. But I am working through the issues, so let's get through this together. Okay, I thought I would take you through the current status of this comic strip. Actually, I should be calling it a comic page. I initially thought I was going to do comic strips, but then I just decided to do comic pages because I thought I could make it more dynamic. So that's why there are comic pages now. And they'll be the size of a US standard comic book, but I just printed it out on regular printer paper just to kind of proof it. Okay, so this is the current status of a comic page that I built, but I'm not too happy with it. I think it could be better. I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's decent, but I think I could make some changes to it. So I haven't colored anything yet, except I tried coloring this in. At this point I kind of stopped and I was like, no, maybe I could do better. So let me go through the storyline with you, and then I'll go through the changes I want to make, and we'll go from there. So in this first frame, we have Taco King, or Darren, and he is pushing his taco cart into the park. And in this frame, he kind of sets it up and he puts a sign with the word tacos there, and he has an umbrella on the taco cart. And Goodwin Chambers comes along and he says, 3 fish tacos, please. And then we have close-ups of Taco King cutting up vegetables, and it says chop, chop, chop. And then he goes on to fry the fish, and it says sizzle. And then he is garnishing the tacos. And then he's going to hand over the tacos to Goodwin Chambers, and he says, that'll be $24. And right before Goodwin takes the tacos, he is a little bit in sticker shock at the price of the tacos. So he says, $24 for street tacos? And Taco King says, inflation. I accept cash, credit, check, money order, and cryptocurrency. And Goodwin says, one step shy of offering a finance plan. And Taco King says, not a bad idea. And that's where it ends. And while I'm okay with this, I do think that I want to emphasize the fact that Taco King is a head chef, and a good one at that. So I want to put more emphasis on the food and the cooking of the food. So I'm thinking that this is going to take up more space on the page, but that also means that this now has to go to a 2-page comic, so it'll be a spread, and I'm okay with that. It'll just be like a left and right page. So the other thing that I'm looking to do is improve just some of my drawings overall. I think they're decent, but I've been practicing, Taco King's hair, and I think I could do it a little bit better. I also kind of want to refine maybe the fish here. And there's little things here and there that I want to improve. So now that we know what the changes are, let's get into Procreate and start drawing. Okay, I think I need to clarify how this is going to work. I consider this part 1 to a 2-part video. Otherwise, this video is going to be way too long. So in this video, I'm going to concentrate on refining the storyline for this comic, which should cover both pages. Mainly because the entire storyline needs to be established before anything else. And actually, as far as this video goes, you're looking at the refined storyline right here. So more emphasis on the cooking and the taco assembly, and now it's spread out onto 2 pages. Alright, let's keep going. So I'm gonna ink and color the entire first page in this video, and then in the next video I will ink and color the second page. I don't know if I'm going to do that for all my comics, but for this one, that's what's going to happen, because this one did not go well. It was a lot of work and rework, and I really feel like at every step I did nearly everything twice because I just wasn't happy with it. So I started to ink and color this first frame here, and I didn't even know how to color the grass. You'll see me just color and erase and color and erase, and I do it a million times over. I think these brushes that I'm using they're so amazing, but they do take a bit of getting used to, and they're very sensitive to the angle that you're holding them at, just like how you would use a real Copic marker. And then I thought it would, I would add some clouds, and I thought, for a second there I thought it would do a blue sky, but I decided to do a pink sky instead. But overall I wasn't crazy about it, but I kept going because I thought maybe it would work itself out. And that's what I ended up with on my first time around. And I continued on with this because I had to make the first frame look like the second frame. So I needed them to match, because Taco King has to look like he's in the same environment, in the same park, at the same time, on the same day. So I started to do, the bushes, kind of like how I did in the second frame, but again, like it wasn't feeling very cartoony to me, or maybe the clouds were feeling a little too like on the verge of realistic. So then I started redoing the clouds. It looked more cartoony, and also like the bushes had more layering and more separation between the layers with color, and it just looked a little bit more graphic and cartoony to me. It looked more playful, and I liked it better. So here's a comparison between the first version and the second version. I don't know, you tell me which one you prefer. I think I'm gonna go for the bottom one, because the first one just felt like too much like real life, maybe, and the second one just popped out at me. So yeah, let's go with the second one. And once I made that decision, then I'm like, okay, now I need both frames to look like each other, so I had to do the other frame over again. So this goes back to my my having to do everything over and over and over again, and I felt like this took days. Like, I did not do this in one night. Like, it took many hours to figure out these brush markers, to color it, to hate it, and then but to think about it first. Like, you leave it alone for a day or a few days, and you're like, no, I'm gonna do it again. But you need a break, otherwise you just kill yourself doing this stuff. And here's a comparison between the first version and the second version, and then once I established like the style of the bushes and the clouds, then I got into, well, how do I want this plant in the foreground to look? And you saw me ink it very differently before, and now here I am inking it a whole different way again, and coloring it in a whole different style again. And I have no idea why I colored that tree purple, but I didn't want to use the color brown. Whatever, the purple tree is staying. I am not changing the color at this point. So at least we accomplished the first 2 frames, and we got the title card going. Is it called a title card? I don't know. Maybe it's just a title. You guys can tell me in the comments what is the proper term for that part of the comic. If it even has a proper term, I don't know. But at this point we have 3 frames left. So we're making progress. We're halfway. We can say that we're halfway done with the first page of this comic, which is not bad. Alright, so now we have to get to Taco King chopping up some vegetables. And so in this frame he's chopping up some onions. And I chose limes because limes go really good if you squirt them on a fish taco. That is the ingredient to use. So I feel like I was okay, you know, coloring his body, doing the typography, coloring the knife. I think the knife came out pretty good, even with the little star at the end. That's how I used to draw shiny objects when I was little, with the little star at the end like that. And then we got into drawing the lime, and I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I could not draw this lime, and I drew it maybe like 3 times over or so, and I just, you know, like 5 years of art school, and I can't draw a lime. And maybe it's that I don't know exactly what the Taco King style is, you know, so I'm trying to figure that out, which is why I'm rendering things over and over and over again, because I'm trying to figure out his world and the styling of everything in his world. And then we get into the frame where Taco King is cooking up a fish fillet. I just wanted to mention that in the previous frame, you're seeing the edge of the previous frame, and it's still a purple onion. You're just seeing an older version of that frame because I'm telling this story out of order. So just be reassured that I did not change the color of the onion yet again. But generally, I didn't like the look of the fish fillet. It was pretty unconvincing to me. So I decided to get a better reference photo, and I think this is like a piece of tilapia that I'm drawing here. And as you can see, I went back to paper and pencil because I just feel more comfortable drawing by hand. And maybe I'll get to that point where I can draw directly in Procreate. I have little instances where I do, but I'm not that comfortable with it yet. You know, it hasn't grown on me completely, and I'm gonna get there, but I'm not there yet. I'm just astounded by the artists out there that they can render things directly in Procreate, and they just draw with no mistakes, and they go once through and it's like perfect, and I'm like, how the heck are they doing this? I can't figure it out. I just draw and redraw everything over and over again at this point, and I'm hoping to get to the point maybe where I take less time to do these frames, but maybe I'm just overthinking everything. Maybe I'm just am I a perfectionist or something? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just always feel like I can do things better. So maybe it's just part of, like, you push yourself just a little bit harder to get a better result, which obviously means torturing yourself a little bit, but it's the only way you get better, you know? So this is what it looks like with the fish rendered in the final version of the page. Just so you guys know, I'm using kind of like an odd workaround method because I have some limitations on my iPad. I do have an iPad Pro, but it is an older version, so I only have 37 layers to work with for this, for this entire comic, which is not enough. So what I ended up doing is creating a Procreate file for every frame of the comic, which, adds up over time. But it's the only method I have as, to use as a workaround until I get a more updated iPad. So each one of these frames is about 37 layers. It may not look like that, but it is, because I pretty much use up every layer that I have available to me. But this is the final version, so please let me know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you liked it or not, or you think I could improve. Thank you so much for your support in watching this channel. I'm having a lot of fun putting these comics together, and I hope you have fun watching these videos, and I hope you learn something from it. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends, and in the next video we're going to be concentrating on the second page of this comic before we get started on a new comic. And remember that all the final artwork for these comics are going to be going on the Instagram page. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.